Good afternoon. As a military spouse, I am deeply honored and humbled to introduce to you Mr. Khzir Khan, who is not only a brilliant lawyer, but a Gold Star parent, a patriot, and a great defender of our Constitution. He and his wife are the proud parents of 3 sons, including a true American hero, Captain Humayun Khan, who gave, in Abraham Lincoln's words, the last full measure of devotion in Iraq, defending his colleagues, defending our nation, and defending our Constitution, for which he was awarded a Bronze Star and Purple Heart. It is most fitting that we culminate our conference this year, welcoming him and letting him speak to us. We came here together to unite and learn about defending our Constitution at this time. Your son, Mr. Khan, reminds us the Constitution's promises that we've been talking about: equal protection, due process, access to justice, an independent judiciary, freedom for all religions, and the rule of law are the very fabric of our constitutional democracy. They are what define the United States of America and distinguish us from other nations. Captain Khan wrote, "Liberty requires vigilance and sacrifice, and those who benefit from it must keep it safe from attack." Your son did that. You and your family do that. And your immeasurable sacrifice inspires us. We must resolve to remember to honor every day our service members here and abroad who are our boots on the ground defending our constitutional order, and rededicate ourselves to defend our Constitution against attacks, and to make real every day for everybody the great promises of liberty and freedom that are enshrined in the Constitution we all love. I present to you Mr. Khzir Khan.
Very much. Please be seated. Thank you. Thank you. Honorable judges, members of the legal profession, my heroes, thank you for this honor. I stand before you totally undeserving of this honor. I know I stand before the most learned patriots and scholars of this profession. I remain very mindful of that, how I speak. But before I speak, I wish to extend our thanks, our gratitude, our sincere thanks to our veterans and their families, and those who serve in the law enforcement and the armed forces of the United States. Thank you for your service. When you stand before the most learned scholars of your profession, you only tell your story. And this is my 121st appearance throughout the country, throughout this worried nation, answering the question that have been discussed by this learned panel earlier. What do we do now? Where do we go from here? I have some simple observation that I wish to share with you, but let me reintroduce myself. I come from the city of Charlottesville, city of Thomas Jefferson, where our courageous and able mayor a few months ago declared that city to be the center of resistance in the United States, I am proud to stand before you as a citizen of Charlottesville. I've been asked many a time, why this passion? You only been in this country 30 years. Why this passion that you violated your own privacy, your dignity, your peace, and you stood in front of this nation, in front of this world, speaking about the greatness of the Constitution of the United States and the values enshrined in the Constitution. I'll share a couple of stories that you may have already heard what brought us there. But let me add, I stand before you most humble, most grateful citizen of this country because I have been twice in my life without the dignities enshrined in the Constitution of the United States. When I was in high school, there was martial law in Pakistan. I used to wonder, do we have to live all of our life like this, that we could not get out, could not read a newspaper, could not speak, could not even speak within our families, within our friends, without the fear of being turned in to the authorities? Second time, I had been without these dignities enshrined in the Constitution of the United States when I was a law student. It was then I took a course entitled Constitution of the United States, 40 years ago. The very first document I read was Declaration of Independence. That the freedom of the United States did not come without price. So those were the circumstances that this nation faced. Then I read the Bill of Rights. I immediately made the connection why there is so much emphasis on these dignities. I don't call them Bill of Rights, I call them human dignities, dignities of mankind. I literally looked to the sky, and that was over 40 years ago. Is there a nation with these values? Are there human beings among us on this planet Earth that have these values, these freedoms, these rights guaranteed? And there was a wish then in my heart that maybe someday it will be possible that I'll join that blessed nation. And in 1980, that blessed moment came. And I took the oath of this Constitution, oath of citizenship. There were several others among us that took the oath of office, oath of citizenship. I had my hand to my heart after swearing the oath of citizenship. I remember it so vividly, so clearly. I looked to the sky, I looked up and thanked my Creator. Thank you for making that dream possible. It is for that reason that I am passionate advocate of these dignities that enshrined in our Constitution, in our Bill of Rights. I have not stopped speaking. And earlier, the panel was being discussed, where do we go from here? Let me share a couple of my observations and my stories. To pay tribute to Captain Humayun Khan, a newspaper writer called from New York and said, you heard the most bigoted statement of Donald Trump where he said, I will ban all Muslims, Hispanics will be thrown out, judges are partial, women deserve no equal dignity. What do you have to say? And I spoke with him for 10, 15 minutes. He published the article. That article was picked up by the Democratic National Convention. While this was taking place, we were visiting our friends, all faiths, all ages, and their small children will come to me knowing that I am a lawyer. They would ask, is this true? Will we be thrown out of United States? Can I finish my school? We were born here. We are citizens, but we are afraid. I will assure them. I will show them where it was written in the Constitution of United States. And then a few days later, I will ask their parents, have children been heartened? And they would say no. They remain worried. They don't eat well. They don't sleep well. They don't study well. And I would think to myself and to Ghazala, I would say, what can we do? We would speak to them again. We will try to assure them that this cannot be happening in this country. We will tell them our story, but children would remain worried. That is when the invitation came for us to come to speak to National Convention. We did not accept the invitation immediately. We told them that let us think. We asked our children, our well-wishers, everybody told us, do not participate in this. Your reputation, your privacy, your peace of mind will all be gone. 2 days we sat in the room that we have dedicated to Captain Humayun Khan, wishing that some guidance will come from somewhere. Ghazala and I would talk about, should we or shouldn't we? The questions that these small children have asked would resonate in our mind, in our conscious. Maybe this is the time we should go and speak. Then I went to check the mail on second day, and there was a small envelope in our mailbox along with other mail. I picked up the mail because there was no stamp. It was sort of personal, just Mr. and Mrs. Khan written on the envelope. I was curious. I opened it immediately. I read it. I walked faster to home and showed it to Ghazala. And I said, Ghazala, maybe our time has come. And this is what that envelope said. I apologize for losing my composure, but such are the moments. And that envelope said, that small card said, Mr. and Mrs. Khan, can you please make sure that Sophia is not thrown out of this country? We are fifth graders. Sophia is our friend and our classmate. I showed it to Ghazala, and she nodded in affirmative. She said, this is our time. We should go and speak. So we spoke on behalf of those worried children, those worried citizens, the next generation. We have continued to speak. Immediately after this blessed event, I am headed to Fairfax County, 122nd appearance before the worried communities. And this is what my message is. This is what my message is. And this is what I wish to share. Whether you like it or not, your time has been chosen as member of this profession, as leaders of this profession. Communities throughout the country look up to you. Communities look up to you for guidance and strength. This humble citizen, grateful citizen's observation, wherever you have been present as lawyers within the community, with the community, community's morale had been higher. Mere your presence makes the difference. Participate locally. My goal to participate within Virginia is to gain 17 more state seats so that we can make the difference. That is how things will begin to change. Each and every community, the wonderful panel that gave you some profound thoughts, I wish to add as footnote, participation in these political campaigns is absolutely necessary. Making sure that the number of in House, in Congress, those who address our concerns increases. I was in Heartland in Iowa, 2 tables full of veterans. They all stood up after I spoke and they said, Mr. Khan, we are veterans. We voted for Trump. We will not have legal services addressing our concerns, representing us. We are told that our health care will be taken away from us. Can you guarantee us? Can you suggest what do we do now? Where do we go now? And this was this humble citizen, grateful citizen's suggestion to them, and they had been following because they are staying in touch with me. Reach out to your member of Congress, reach out to your senator, make a phone call, leave a message, call back again. Tell them you want to hear from them. You want to hear loudly and clearly that you stand for our rights, that you stand for American liberties, that you will remain standing, you will represent us and our concern regardless of your party affiliation. And you saw how Affordable Care Act was defended. The Trump Care was defeated in the House. It is such political activism that is call of the time. As lawyers, wherever you are present, you're making the difference. I was at Dulles Airport a couple of times. Some of you may have been there when I visited. I've been there twice. One time when I was there, French crew, the flight has landed, the French crew was coming out, and they were taking picture of that table that was set up at Dulles Airport, written Washington Lawyers Coalition, and there were brave lawyers sitting on their chairs on a table. They were taking pictures. I asked the person of the French airline crew, why are you taking pictures of this? Just out of curiosity. And this is what he said. Because in his answer lies how the rest of the world is watching your standing up for these liberties. He said, I have several lawyers in my families. They have asked me to bring this picture to them so they can show it to the other French lawyers. This is how you defend your nation when its liberty is attacked. They were inspired. Another heartening moment for us, we have received thousands and thousands of letters throughout the world, throughout the country, encouraging us, thanking us. One letter stands out. It is a 26-page letter written by a veteran, Army veteran nurse, in which she says, and I'll summarize it, she said, Mr. and Mrs. Khan, please continue to speak. She said, I have served in the Second World War in Europe. I wish now that more and more people would have spoken, more and more people would have stood up to defend the human values. The atrocities that were committed against our brothers and sisters would have not been committed if more people would have spoken. Please continue to speak. So we have, and we continue to share our concerns. Sometime, especially with your leadership in the profession, those who will be members of this profession, it is absolutely necessary for you to harness this moment. Stand up, go to the communities, join hands, 1 of you, 2 of you, 5 of you, 10 of you. Call the civic organizations of your community, local communities. Tell them who you are. You stand with them, whatever need be, to file a litigation, to address the community, to address their concern. You will see that we will go through this troubled time. This is only momentary. This is only momentary. I have seen the hopefulness in the community throughout, be it Portland, Oregon, be it Texas, Iowa. There is hopefulness that this cannot last too long. This cannot last very long. Because most people know that democracy is nothing but tyranny of majority. Only rule of law protects the rights of the citizens from tyranny. You are the custodians of rule of law. Never underestimate your power. Never underestimate the power, the impact of your profession. This nation looks up to you. Whether you like it or not, this time has chosen you to remain standing for the rule of law. I was invited to come to Europe to participate in a debate. We successfully participated in that debate. After the debate, some scholars of Europe spoke with me, and they reminded me something that I wish to share with you. They said, "Look, Mr. Khan, I hope you remember some of it at least. First 50 years of last century saw 2 world wars, atrocities against mankind. The mankind realized that division and hatred towards one another will not make us prosper. Look at the second 50 years of the last century. European Union came into being. NATO came into being. Common defense. And United Nations came into being because mankind realized that in joining hands, various communities, various faiths, various national origins, lies the prosperity. They reminded me to bring this reminder to all of us that in unity, in accepting one another, in joining hand, moving forward of mankind, the prosperity for mankind lies in unity, in common interest, in defending these values. United States, even today, its system of government, its democracy remains envy for the rest of the world. I don't wish to speak out of place, but I have stood with rest of members of the media of the other parts of the world, and they have asked me, where is the 14th Amendment? What does it say? Where is First Amendment? What does it say? Can you show us? How does it guarantees these basic rights? And I would ask them that, are you asking this question just because of your interest? They would say no. our citizens are sending us these messages that find out what are these values, what are these American values, what are these dignities, human dignities that he talks about are enshrined in Constitution, and I would read them passionately. Section 1 of the 14th Amendment. I would read them the First Amendment and the other dignities that are enshrined in our Constitution, and they would be so amazed. And this media members are from China, from Korea, from Austria. Al Jazeera had been home 3-4 times wanting to know about this. What I mean to say by this story is that there is amazing interest in our values. And guess, regardless of the clown show a block from here, regardless of that, you are the defender of these values. Always, always remember this in your most private moment, that our Creator has placed you to defend these values, not only for the United States, but for the rest of the world. I am so humbled, so grateful to be standing before you to share my haphazard thoughts, but I am hopeful that this moment will last very briefly, and our values, our dignities will prevail. We will be vindicated. Your profession, whenever there is environmental calamity, you see all physicians and nurses and social workers putting their backpack and running to the calamity to help mankind, regardless of the place, regardless of the moment. This is rule of law calamity. This is your time. Let's have the backpack ready. Let's do our best in our communities. That is where it is most impactful. Wherever, as I said, wherever there had been a table of lawyers sitting within the community, within the gathering of community, the community's morale had been the highest. I was in Chicago at a convention. After the convention, the local bar association invited me to speak. In the convention, I saw a modest, very somber lady sitting in a green room. I went to ask her what is wrong, out of concern. She said, I am a refugee. I just came to this country and I have so many papers, I have so many applications that I have to process. This is my second day in this convention. Nobody has reached out to me. I was told that somebody would reach out and will be able to help. Can you help? I said, I'm speaking to the Chicago's lawyers this afternoon. Come with me. She came with me. At the end of the convention, we went to the lawyers' gathering. The very first thing I did after my introduction, I introduced her that I have brought my daughter with me. She has a question. She's an immigrant. She just arrived to this country and she needs some help. 5 immigration lawyers from the crowd stood up, gave her the card that she should contact them. I was grateful. But what happens afterwards had reaffirmed my faith that you're the solution. You're the solution to this calamity of rule of law that my nation is going through. After the event, we wanted to walk out, and she came to me and she whispered in my ear. She said, Mr. Khan, this is the America I have dreamed of. Since they stood up, they gave me their business cards. I feel as if all of my worries are gone. They will take care of me. This is the America that I used to dream. I was losing hope, but since they gave me these 5 cards, these cards mean so very much to me in my pocket. I think I have come to the America that I used to dream of. So thank you for your service to this country. Thank you for your continued faith in the values of this country, the rule of law of this country, which shall prevail. I am grateful. Thank you very much.